Jesus is Lord. There is proof everywhere. If you believe that Jesus was just a prophet or a good teacher, but he isn't actually God, that actually makes no sense. Because if Jesus isn't God, then he wasn't a good teacher. He was a blasphemer. He said, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me." If he wasn't God, then he's just telling all of his disciples, "Follow me, for I am the intermediary to God, and you will speak with God through me." But if he's not God, then he just dies, and what are we left to do? So either Jesus is God, or Jesus had no power, or anything. But we know that Jesus did have power because of so many witness testimonies. We know that Jesus spoke directly to God. Jesus is God. He fulfilled more than 300 prophecies in his time on earth, which is literally statistically impossible. So, unless he was completely ordained by God and God in the flesh, it was not possible. But it did happen. So what does that tell us? He is God. He was ordained by God, and he is God in the flesh. Christ is God. And if you're like, how can we trust what the Bible says? Bert, if you can't trust what the Bible says, how can you trust what literally anything says? The Bible is the most consistent and protected, treasured book or text or literally anything in all of history. There are 63,773, I think, cross-references all throughout it, the Old and the New Testament. So how can you only believe the Old Testament? The New Testament is so intertwined within the Old Testament. How can you only believe the Old Testament? I mean, I understand that that's what was believed for so long without the New Testament, but the New Testament completes it. There's no need for a third edition. And if you're like, how can we trust all the cross-references? Maybe one of the things was false, and that debunks an entire section of these cross-references. What does that mean then for anything else we believe? The way the Bible was put together, things that weren't able to be completely proven and make complete sense with everything else, they weren't included. They weren't put into this spiritual text. Because everything that's in the Bible is what we know absolute factually to be true. And with all of the evidence, all of the logic, all of the archaeological evidence, everything, that alone gives me enough foundation to take the leap of faith for any of the aspects of Christianity that take faith. All of the rest of it can be completely proven. Everything that can be proven has been proven. So why would we not logically take the steps of faith going by what we can prove? With all the cross-references, the Bible is a masterpiece. If it was made by one author, people would say, this is a masterpiece. But it was made by like 40 different authors over the course of 1,500 years. Yes, there was space in between some of the happenings versus when they were written down. But the Dead Sea Scrolls were found and were proven more than 99% accurate, completely word for word with what we have today. And what that means is that what we have today, what we had previously as the oldest texts of this, had been protected and completely unchanged for a very long period of time between the Dead Sea Scrolls and then. So we know that the word and the meaning is all unchanged. Even though there is somewhat of a time gap, we know that it's all been written down and unchanged throughout these years. God protects his word. Through wars and unbelief and so many religions being created in exact opposition of Christianity, the Bible has remained true to this day, remained proven to this day. Any truth you take from the Bible and apply to your life becomes exponentially better. So why wouldn't we believe what is in the Bible? Because of pride? Because we don't want to believe? Because of stubbornness? Because maybe I understand that you may have a lot resting on your belief, a lot of your community, your entire life, logic, everything is resting on what you believe. And for that to be completely knocked away in a 8-minute video, I understand that can be difficult and you can be persecuted for it, but God tells us we are going to be persecuted for our faith. We will receive trials and tribulations, but it is so worth it. It is all worth it in the end. I mean, even if heaven didn't exist, life on earth with God is so beautiful. Even with all the struggles, God gives his children peace and love and forgiveness and grace when we accept it. He gives us blessings and makes our lives so beautiful, more than we ever could. He gives us wisdom and guides us on where to go when we have no clue what to do. He gives us baby steps. And we don't need to see the full picture yet, because with baby steps we can enjoy every little step, every little moment. And I just love that so much. But even with all of our blessings on earth, we still do get to go to heaven and be with the Father for eternity. Isn't that amazing? It's all worth it, even with the persecution. There's logic to back up everything that can be proved. The leaps of faith are worth taking. That is why I believe. And I understand that not everybody's going to agree with me. A lot of people are probably going to try to defend their faith with all their might. But how do you defend your faith and attack the Christian faith on logical basis without attacking your own faith on the same logical basis?